morning. Hold on a second. Oh my God. Mark, there should be a law against you.
I have no choice. I swear.
It's still warm. Apple plum pie. Oh my God.
It was like almost out of mind or out of body or something. This started making the pie this
It's
morning.
pretty fantastic.
So not only is it pie, it's a trance pie. There we go.
Must have been divinely inspired.
I'm sure it was. Yes.
We're really late this morning.
We are.
We've been running around doing stuff.
I was busy talking. I know that's hard to believe. But.
Well, we were busy doing stuff. Not.
Yep. The song we did today was "Stand by Me." So, and it was a version. I don't remember who did it.
Oh, it was awesome.
It is an awesome version.
And I love that song. I love that version because whenever I hear that, I not only feel the presence of Divine Spirit, but I also feel my ancestors. And so, when it's kind of that haunting, melodious sound.
Mm-hmm. And our beloved Claudia just turned 89.
Yay!
And Layla, yeah, right. I knew that. So.
Did you
And
tell
yeah, huh?
So talk about it.
Yeah. About what? Layla's getting baptized today.
Yay!
Very cool. Very cool.
Good job.
So, can you swim? Okay, cool. She's doing it in the river. So, actually, it's a good time of year to do it in the river. A couple of months ago, it had been cold.
It might
Although it
still
still
be a
be
little chilly.
probably pretty chilly.
We've done river baptisms before.
We have. Haven't done one in a while. Oh, goodness sakes. So what else is going on besides all the stuff? There's so much stuff.
This week is Course in Miracles tomorrow, obviously. And after services, we're doing Divine Messages.
Beth is doing that?
Beth's not here.
Oh, where is she?
If she, Bobby's doing it.
Oh, okay.
Bobby's doing it. Okay. And then Wednesday, Followers of the Way. Our current series is my favorite Bible verses. And I have to tell you, they're my favorite because they changed my life. And I used to think the Bible was just this big guilt shame book, but it's not. It's got tools for living, and so I'm sharing with you stuff that really changed my life. And then we are going to have a booth at the Conscious Living Expo. Michelle's going to talk to us more about that, but that's Friday and Saturday. More information
So
coming
come
on
out and
that.
say hi.
Yes. Yes.
It'll be the first time we've ever had a booth that the show wasn't ours.
It wasn't our show. Yeah, it wasn't our show. I'm still having, sometimes I have Expo nightmares and then other times they're Expo really good. I think it'll be really fun. Really fun. So.
We do have a couple patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin.
Hey, George and John.
And John said, my role in society, or any artist's or poet's role, is to try and express what we all feel. Not to tell people how to feel. Not as a preacher, not as a leader, but as a reflection of all of us.
True.
True. And George,
Oh, George.
I think I am. Therefore, I am. I think. And t-shirts and sweatshirts that you may want to or may not want to get, as the case may be. This is all about food. Actually, this is all about...
Those.
I know, aren't those bizarre?
What is that?
I don't know.
That's disgusting. These wild jeans with a crazy pattern.
T-shirt. Lord, give me coffee to change the things I can and wine to accept the things I can't. Instant human, just add coffee. And the periodic table, Ba for barium, Co for cobalt, and N for nitrogen.
Bacon.
Bacon.
Bacon, bacon, bacon.
I've had my coffee. It's safe to come out now. Coffee first, then work. Oh, that's such good five. My goodness sakes. Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. Mark Twain.
I think wrinkles are markings of a life well lived.
Emily Dickinson, that love is all there is all we know of love. And Albert Schweitzer, when I heard the church bells ring, I thought I heard the voice of God.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
cool?
sweet.
Yeah. That was cool. The only difference between the saint and the sinner is that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I should say my future looks bleak or good. I don't know.
Depends on whether you eat that pie or not.
Oh. Well, I'm going to eat the
Eat
pie.
that pie. That's
I'm
a
going to eat
good
that
future.
pie. Okay.
You got pie in your future. What else can you ask for, right?
Yeah. If the entire population of China, and remember this was actually book was written 20 years ago. I was going to look up the population of China then and now, but it's vastly different. But if the entire population of China were to walk past you in single file, you would not live long enough to see the end of the line. A lot of people. A lot of people.
What if they ran?
What if they ran? I don't know.
Depends on how fast they ran. Depends on how fast they ran.
Good one, Michelle.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, right.
Why did the dog cross the road twice? To fetch a boomerang. What do cats like to put on their milk? In their milk. Mice cubes. What do cats like to put on their milk? Make any sense? She says with a sigh. All right, cucumbers. I did this one back in 2012, so more than likely nobody remembers it.
Were you even born yet?
No.
Okay. So that's only the first time you've heard this joke.
Well, this is just actually information about cucumbers that you probably never knew. Cucumbers contain most of the vitamins you need every single day. Just one cucumber contains vitamin B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, folic acid, vitamin C, calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, and zinc.
Let's go have a cucumber.
Yeah.
Get healthy.
Feeling tired in the afternoon? Put down the caffeinated soda and pick up a cucumber. Cucumbers are a good source of vitamin B, which I just said. And carbohydrates that can provide the quick pick-me-up that can last for hours. And tired of your bathroom mirror fogging up in the shower? Try rubbing a cucumber slice across the mirror. Ew.
I'm not doing that.
It will eliminate the fog and provide a soothing spa-like fragrance.
I'm not
Okay.
doing
If you are right-handed, you will tend to chew your food on the right side of your mouth. If you are left-handed, you will tend to chew the food on the left side of your mouth.
that. Unless you have dental work.
Yes.
Yes. To make half a kilo of honey, bees must collect from over 2 million individual flowers.
That's a lot of flowers.
That's a lot of flowers.
We have bees in our yard.
We
Lots
have
of bees.
lots of bees in our yard. I love getting up in the morning and watching all the bumblebees. They just, oh, they're so much fun. And I mean, you can get right up next to them. Yes.
I have 10 bee colonies.
Really?
10 bee colonies? Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and one of them is in a lavender field. So, and my mom is a beekeeper. Isn't it in a backyard? No, one of them is in a lavender field.
One of them is in a lavender field for the folks online. How fun is that? So you get lavender honey.
That'd be lavender honey. That's some
I bet
dang
that's
good
yummy.
honey.
Beekeeper?
That's some nice honey.
You know
Wow.
what you call that to keep bees?
My mom.
Well, yes.
You know what you call a beekeeper? My mom.
There's a very big word for that I can't remember.
Great.
So he asked, what do you call a beekeeper? And she said, my mom.
Yes. Correct answer.
Yeah,
Good
it was.
answer.
It was.
Good answer.
All right. Anything else?
So I think that's all for you.
Okay.
You and your pie can
Oh, my pie, me
vominos.
and my pie can go.
And Michelle, do you want to do? I don't know how to help. How to be the best of service here. I'll start this around.
Okay. Well, these kind of go together, the schedule.
Yeah. You want to talk about this real quick, and then
We need a, where's our microphone?
I'm going to give you this one here.
Oh,
I'm done talking.
you're done, you're not gonna talk anymore?
I'm not talking. I'm not talking anymore. I'm not talking to you anymore.
So we wanted to talk a little bit about the, did you want to take these? Well,
Yeah.
I'll just take mine. I don't know what we're doing. We didn't practice ahead of time. I don't know. what
Off
we're
the
doing.
cuff.
Off the
Life is
cuff.
off the cuff, on the wing.
Okay, thank you. So we've been talking about the Conscious Living Expo is next Friday and Saturday. So we have a booth there. This is an outreach for us. And Janice is passing out, I did a screenshot of the workshops that they're having so that you can see what the schedule is. And the ones that are highlighted are the ones that Janice and I are doing. So we're both doing one on Saturday and one on Sunday. Friday and Saturday. So, yeah. So, and also we have we could use some help, especially on Saturday, just have people at the booth so that nobody's overwhelmed being there all day or not being able to take breaks or not being able to look at anything else. So really encourage you to come and I put part of why I said this out is you could see like what workshops you want to come and see, and you can schedule what time you want to be, but we really could use a little bit more help. Setup is on Thursday, and we could probably use one other person. John is helping, and then it's Janice and I. So if one other person would like to help, give us a holler. Anything else on that, Janice? Well, this is...
Tell them what we're talking about.
Okay, what are we talking about? Oh. But this is an outreach. We're not doing the big expo anymore, and that was always a really huge outreach for us. So this is an outreach for us to get more people to know that we're here, to come to church or to come to our workshops, things like that. So on Friday, I'm going to be doing You May Be Psychic. And then Janice is going to be doing the exit points. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be talking about past lives. And on the afternoon, Janice is going to be doing the Empowered Empath, which sounds really cool. But we just realized today we won't be able to go to each other's workshops. That's sad.
Unless we get more help.
Yeah, unless somebody wants to cover the booth so we could go watch each other's workshops. So any questions about the Healing Light Expo? Or comments? People online? Give us a call. Peggy? I'm going to get Peggy first, then John.
In times past, there were food donations that were requested. Are they doing that again?
I don't know. If you look on the webpage, and we have the link is on our website, on the Divine Fellowship Facebook page. I don't remember hearing that. Do you, Janice?
No.
So,
And
okay.
then just for our booth, no. We're just gonna show up and
Or
have
for the
information and
or for the expo in general. I don't remember them asking about that. John, what was your question?
So you two and whoever shows up will be there Friday and Saturday in the chamomile or chamomile corner. Is that close to the rosemary room or there's other stuff going on?
I have no idea. We don't even know where our booth is yet. And people who volunteer, who are coming to volunteer, we'll put you on the volunteer list so you don't have to pay to get in. So I think that's really cool. We haven't got the list yet, but we'll get that taken care of. And so you'll be able to come in for free. So that's pretty cool. I can't think of anything else. Okay. So hopefully this is my message today. I ran out of the house and kind of early. I'm on a grocery list, but this has been kind of an interesting workshop, or not workshop, a message to put together. I was, the last couple of months I had talked about ego. Last week it was about ego and talking about the energy of blame, and the month before that I did something also related to ego. So I thought, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to talk about the Bible. I haven't talked about the Bible in about a year, and I got a new Bible, and I was like, this is so exciting. But I just kept thinking about this other topic that kept going through my head, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to talk about the Bible. So at the same time all this was going on in my brain, for the last almost month, a lot of weird stuff has been going on in my house. Things like hearing weird noises and really, really loud creaking and popping noises in the house. And I did get a new front door, but I mean, this was a lot. It was more than just settling, and I just kind of ignored it. And then there was things like hearing footsteps, grown-up footsteps, doggy footsteps. My doggies would be laying right there. I'd be watching TV, and I'd hear footsteps like the doggies are coming from the other part of the house, and they're both right there. And so it started getting kind of weird, and I started noticing, And then one time, actually this happened twice, is I heard something fall. And like one time it was really loud. It sounded like a broomstick, but louder. And I thought, what's going on? Maybe the dogs knocked something over. The dogs are right there. So I'm like, okay, something as weird is going on. And I started talking to you guys, you spirits, I don't care who you are, get out, quit messing with my house, go away. And stuff was still happening. And then a week ago, I'm starting to work on my message for today, and I get this, let me back up a little. So I was working on the message and go to bed, and in the middle of the night, I wake up, and I usually don't. I wake up, get out of bed to go to the bathroom, and I stub my toe, and I never stub my toe. I was so mad. It was my baby toe. It wasn't bad, but it was like, and so I go in, I come out of the bathroom, the TV is on. And my first thought is, why did the dog must have stepped on the remote. I don't use that TV. The remote wasn't on the bed. I had to look through it for it on my dresser and the little, you have a little thing for your remotes and find it to turn it off. And I'm like, okay, spirits, I don't know who you are, but enough, go away, leave me alone, I'm done with this. And then I start to watch the bed, and I went, I wonder if there's a message. Maybe they have a message for me, or he or she or it, or they, I don't know. And I'm like, it's like 3 a.m, and I'm trying to talk to spirits in my bedroom. And so I'm thinking, okay. So I kind of close my eyes and I go, okay, what's the message? And it's 3 a.m. I didn't care actually. And so I went to bed, and I woke up, and I realized I needed to do this message. And this message is about resistance. So I was resisting talking about resistance. And so I started working on it, and I took a break. I went in, and I have like books laying around the living room, and I'll pick one up to read and then put it down, and I'll come back to it like a month later. And I've been working on this book. This is Michael Tamura. He was a teacher that I knew years ago, and he passed away about 1.5 years ago. So he's in spirit world. It's called You Are the Answer, Michael Tamura. And you can see this is how far I got. So I pick it up, and I open it up to the next chapter. The next chapter's on, guess what? Resistance. So yeah, I don't know if that was Michael visiting or somebody else or what, but he has contributed to today's message. So when I talked about ego is a very body energy. Ego, the energies that we talk about, like blame. I talked about blame last month, but jealousy, anger, resistance, those are all body energies. Those are energies of the ego. And so all these negative emotions get wrapped up in our ego. And resistance is, when you feel resistance, it's like when something's going on that you don't like being stuck in traffic, or being around people that irritate you, or sometimes people are resistant to certain kinds of people. We have judgments about people. And so certain kinds of people might, I'm resisting that, and you don't usually say that. You don't usually say in your head, I'm in resistance to whatever. And so you don't usually say that, but you might feel it. You might feel that kind of tension. It feels like tension in your body. And I think when resistance kind of gets amplified and starts cranking up a little bit, it can turn into like anxiety and all these other kind of really negative emotions. And so a lot of times resistance is when you get frustrated because it's something you can't do anything about. And that ends up putting us in that kind of tense state. And a lot of it is resistance to change. A lot of resistance is about change. And just to give you an example, I used to work at McClellan Air Force Base in Sacramento. It was a huge base. They did aircraft repair. And there's 18,000 people working there when I was there. So there was a lot of turnover of people. I mean, not a lot of turnover, but people would get promoted or they would lateral over to another organization. So it wasn't like the kind of place where you go in and you're going to spend your whole career just in one office. You end up moving around just because that's kind of the way, job progression works. And so this one office I was at, we had two supervisors, and we were both small units, but everybody got along. It was a great organization. It was cool work. And one of the bosses got promoted out, so we had a vacancy, and they hired one of the employees. And usually people are really excited about that. I really liked this person. But one of the guys, he said, that was going to be working for this new boss, this guy, he says, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to work for that person. You're going to have to move me. And they actually transferred him to another organization, another job. He was so in resistance to working with this person. He transferred to a job where it like ended his career potential. I mean, the fact firstly that he did that was a pretty big deal, but also it put him in a job where he didn't have upward mobility in that job. The reason why he didn't want to work with this person was a woman. This was in the early 90s, and he had, prior military, he had never had to work with a woman or for a woman, but he had worked with women, and they were usually the secretaries. And then the last few years that he was there was a lot more women, but he just, so much resistance to having a woman as a supervisor. And he liked this lady that got promoted. She was very smart, she was very capable. We all liked her. And the funny thing was there was another guy, and kind of how I found out about a little bit of this is I was talking a few months after she was our boss. I was talking to one of the other guys, and he goes, I was a little bit like that. He goes, I was like, I've never had a woman as a supervisor. It just felt weird. And he was kind of the same background, military, and he worked out in the shop, actually, in aircraft maintenance, whereas this was more of a white-collar type position. And he goes, I was kind of a little bit concerned about it as well. And he goes, but I thought I would, give it a try, see how things worked out. So he was willing to change. And that's the really big difference is when you're in resistance, you can embrace it and maybe have a lot of negative things come about, or you can embrace the change. And he really liked it. And actually he was telling me, he said she was probably one of the best supervisors that he ever had. And this was like back in the early 90s. So things were still catching up as far as the workplace. So just to remind you, last week or month when I was talking about ego isn't a bad thing, and neither is resistance. It's how we survived. We evolved with our ego. It's how we get our identity with ourselves in whatever group or culture that we identify with. And the resistance is kind of the same way. I mean, resistance, sometimes if you're resistant to something, it may be dangerous. If I haven't got enough sleep the night before, I'm resistant about driving up to Tri-Cities. So that's a very real thing. So you don't want to completely ignore resistance. There may be a message for you, but for the most part, when we go into resistance for something, it's because we don't want to change. It's because it's a little pain that says, oh, you're going to go do this. That's going to create some change for you. So all resistance that you've ever encountered is the ego's resistance to change. So when you feel resistance, There's something in you that you can look at changing. You know, if you're getting irritated in traffic, the traffic isn't doing anything to you, right? You know, you're creating traffic for the person behind you. So, I mean, how do you feel that they're mad at you for being there? So you can change, and you can change the way you think about that. And like in that case where I was telling you about the two men, they had a situation that put them into resistance, both of them. And one went, no way, and ended up just kind of digging in his heels to that resistance. And then the other guy says, let's see how this works out. I mean, he didn't get up in the morning and go, oh, I'm going to advance spiritually today, you know, and make these amazing changes. He was just going to work and got announced that his new boss is going to be a woman. But that's the way Spirit works. Spirit kind of gives us these little pings to say, here, you might want to look at changing something here. And, you know, a lot of people will talk about how, and I see this a lot on Facebook, is, oh, life is so, you know, this planet is awful, it's so hard, I hate being here, people are so awful, and you know, if God loves us, why is life so sucky? And the reason is we're being pushed to change. We're being pushed to evolve. We're being pushed to start looking at who we are. The things that we find most irritating and the challenges we have in our life are the things that push us to change. If you're in a situation where everything is perfect and easy all the time, you're probably not going to change, because that's just not who you are. You don't get up in the morning and go, oh, I think I want to make a big change in my life. It usually happens to us in some way. And it's kind of like, I like to use the analogy of karate. If you want to learn karate, you're going to get kicked. Right? And you're going to have to kick other people and punch and stuff. I mean, if you really want to be good at it, if you want to be a black belt. So if you want to be a black belt in life, you might have some stuff happening to you. So don't get stressed out. And maybe when you have things going on that are stressful, look at what your lesson is in that. And the other thing that happens with resistance is a lot of times we feel resistance even if it's something we're excited about. Like I knew somebody that she went some kind of like a music scholarship or something, I'm trying to remember, but she got kind of freaked out about doing it and she didn't go. You know, and I've seen that a lot, and you may have seen that with yourself or family members where there's something really exciting and but you also are feeling scared. So being excited and happy and in resistance at the same time is okay. You know, don't freak out over that. But just remember, the resistance is you not wanting to change. Okay, you're not in resistance to whatever the event is. You're in resistance to the change that is going to happen. So it's all energy. I'm giving myself goosebumps. Or maybe it's cold, I don't know. So you may have noticed that, like my trip, because I've told you about my trip to Africa, I almost canceled the week before. There was a lot of personal stuff going on in my life at the same time, but I had so much anxiety about this trip, and if I hadn't been as excited as I was about going, I don't know that I would have went, because, I even called up the lady that runs a tourist agency and talked to her about it, and she, bless her heart, she was wonderful, and she's so calm, and she calmed me down, and but so a lot of times you get in resistance to something that you really want. So just remember, it's okay. Just remember that resistance is not to the thing you're doing, as to the change that's going to happen. It's going to happen inside of you, in your heart. And so for me, and this happens for me, I get a resistance every Sunday to drive up here, spend an hour driving to church. And, because I drive up here from Hermiston. I get a resistance to writing messages because I like talking, but I don't like writing. And I'm in resistance to the Conscious Living Expo next weekend. I'm in resistance to the work we have to do for it. I'm in resistance to being gone from home so long. I'm in resistance to talking to strangers. I'm in resistance to doing talks that I have to do, which I don't have to do, I volunteer to do. So isn't that funny? But that's what resistance looks like. I'm also really excited about going to the expo. You guys know me well enough to know that I like talking to people and I like teaching, and it's going to be really fun and I'm really excited about. But the other part of me is like, I don't want to. So it's really kind of, it's sort of a funny energy. Oh, and talking to strangers. And what if they come to church? What if on Sunday we have a whole bunch of new people? I mean, it's like, oh my God. But I mean, that's why we're doing it, is we're doing it outreach to, be out in the community and welcome more people in for us. But, this is funny. This is how the energy of resistance works. And I think about that. So this book, Michael Tamura, so he's very interesting in the way he writes. It's one of those books where one sentence you have to put the book down and think about it for 2 days. But so here's kind of a summary of some of the things that he says about resistance. So willingness, the opposite of resistance is willingness. Willingness to change. So willingness is the energy to get out of resistance. So if you're in resistance and you notice you're getting all tense about something, so how can you turn that into willingness? And it's the energy to get out of resistance, which is also your ego. So you have spent your whole lifetime building your ego. Your ego is this persona of who you are. It's like you are a culmination of every I am statement that you have made, of every statement that people have told you about who you are, that you've absorbed and decided were the truth, and you're protecting that. This is your identity. So this is where your resistance links into your ego. So, but you can, through letting go, through changing, you start moving those energies out of your space that aren't yours. So it's through, in willingness to accept change, we move from our ego to your spiritual self. So by letting go of resistance to change, you develop a willingness to learn and to grow to your full destiny of freedom. So as you're letting go of things in the ego, you're replacing it with your higher self ego. Your ego's not going to go away. You'll hear a lot of spiritual teachers say, letting go of the ego, the ego's bad, this sort of stuff. But what you want to do, what you're doing is you're remolding your ego by changing, by opening yourself up to spiritual change. So you let go of maybe judgment that you have about a certain kind of people. And instead of that, you bring in willingness to change, and you bring in acceptance and love for people that you would otherwise not like. So you see how this works. So you're actually changing your ego every time you're willing to make a change about something you're in resistance to. I mean, that's really huge. Now, I don't think I've ever heard of anybody they'll talk about your ego being bad and letting go of it, stuff like that, but you can change your ego. That's so cool. So as you let go of the ego, you let go of the ego persona that doesn't serve you. So you're letting go of whatever negative thoughts, feelings that you have, and you become your spiritual self. You're reshaping the ego to transport you to true spiritual freedom. Wow, isn't that cool? So you're bringing your ego into present time. There may be things that you get irritated or upset about because of something that happened when you're 3. And most of us, except for a couple of little people over there, most of us are a long way from that. So we can bring our ego into present time to match our spiritual growth. Isn't that huge? I'm giving myself goosebumps again. Or the air conditioner just turned on. But isn't that amazing? So very cool stuff. So let's do a quick meditation and get back on schedule. So take a deep breath, and hopefully tonight you don't wake up with your TV on. That was very funny. I haven't had any weird things happen in my house since then, since I decided to talk about resistance. So take a deep breath and close your eyes. And just notice your connection with the planet. You can notice it from the base of your spine to the center of the earth. The base of your spine, that's where your first chakra is. Or you can notice it through your feet. And just feel that earth energy. And even though we have carpet and wood and other stuff between us and the earth, the energy can still reach our bodies. The energy doesn't work through space, or can work through space. It doesn't care. So just notice that connection with the earth and the planet, and be in the center of your head. In the center of your head is your control room for your body, for your spirit, for a spirit in a body. And just bring your aura in about 18 inches around your body so that you feel like you're sitting in a little bubble, your own bubble, about 18 inches around. It goes all the way around your head, your back, your feet, under your feet. Encompasses all of you. And from this space in the center of your head, your little control room. Your control room can be set up however you want. It could be lined with furs. It could be lined with fluffy pillows. You could have a whole valley in there because there's no time or space. Your little control room could be however you want. Some people who are into sci-fi want it to look like a real control room. You can. You can use your imagination, create whatever kind of control room in your head. And if you find yourself getting into resistance, or if you're resistant about anything now, you can just be in this space and notice that you don't have to be the resistance. You can let go of that. You can just release it from your body and let it go into the earth. It's neutralized. You could just send it away. Just realize it's not yours. Just recognizing that it's not you. That's not really you. It just dissolves. Your body is for your energy, not something a kid said to you in kindergarten. Or not the fears that you were taught by your family to keep you safe. You can let go of all that stuff. If it's not yours, you don't need it. It'll just dissolve away. And as this energy moves out of your body, don't forget to breathe. Breathing is actually a very powerful psychic tool. Without it, you would die. So just take that deep breath. A lot of people look at breathing when they're doing meditations and stuff, but it's actually the exhale. The power is in the exhale. So you take a deep breath and blow out, exhale. Any stress or resistance you want, you can just exhale it. So there's a lot of ways to deal with making change, to releasing resistance. There's no one way. One thing I like about this church is we show you all kinds of tools. And so imagine above your head a big golden sun. And in this sun, let it be all your own neutral energy, your own higher self energy, your spiritual life force. And in that, put whatever you want to replace what you let go of. If you know, if you don't know, you just postulate. I'm going to fill up myself with my own information and my own energy. And bring that in through the top of your head. Let it fill up your body, your legs, your arms. And fill up the bubble around you, your aura, with this beautiful gold energy. And don't forget your back. The back of you. And under your feet. And it can go all the way down. You have that connection to the planet. It can just kind of flow down through that connection to the planet and just kind of a psychic clean out. And with that, go ahead and stretch Bend over if you need to, or stand up. Anybody have any questions or comment about either the meditation or just the talk in general? Let me hold. I think we're gonna get a microphone. Do we have? Is it up here or is it back there?
I get it right there.
Okay.
Lights on.
Oh,
Should be right here.
oh, there it is. It's right in front of me.
I'd hidden it from myself.
So when we started for my bubble, it felt like I was in like a pearl.
A pearl?
Yeah,
Cool.
a white pearl, like that. And then what I thought was interesting was on the sun part. My energy or whatever was kind of circling around the sun, and I really felt buzzing in my feet and my whole body.
Huh?
And for the control room, it was kind of like the Inside Out movie.
Oh.
Yeah. But for the energy around the sun, it was just purple and blue.
Wow. It looks like you brought in a lot of your past life wisdom. That's very cool. Anybody else?
My question is more about your message in general, and I'm wondering, you talked about resistance being more like a, no, I'm not going to kind of thing. Is another form of resistance also a sort of feeling of malaise, like I can't quite get it together, I can't quite figure out what I want to do, I don't know where I want to go, what I want to do, and I'm just not doing it.
Not exactly the same, but yeah, it's very similar. And in that case, let me think a second. So that's more of like apathy.
Yeah.
And apathy is a very low vibration, right? It's pretty hard to create from apathy. And so I'm looking at your question there.
I'm just wondering if there's like passive resistance.
It could be, but I think the big question is how do you get out of that?
Yeah.
So one of the things when you're in apathy is to do something, like a lot of times you're in apathy because you have to do something you don't want to do, or you just don't want to do anything. So one of the ways to get out of apathy is to do something that may not even be a big thing, but it's something that you like. Find a way to change your space into just self-nurture. Like, some people actually like pulling weeds, like Janice and Phil. Not me. That's not my thing. But I do like going out. A lot of times I have to go feed the horses. But when I get out, it only takes me a few minutes to feed the horses, and I'm out there for half an hour. Because I end up messing with the horses or doing something else. I may even pull a weed, but it gets out of that energy. So if you do something, all you have to do is switch gears in your brain to go, I'm going to do something to nurture myself. I mean, that right there changes you out of the apathy. And you can say hello to spirit, like Janice and I and all the other people that do these wonderful classes here in the Healing Clinic. It's all about saying hello to spirit and making change. You don't need to be in those spaces. You could sit in your chair and say, Spirit, I'm in apathy, I want out, help me. Show me how to get out, or show me my next step. So you can say hello to spirit, but you have to make the decision to change. That, nobody's going to do it for you. I've tried. It doesn't happen. Any other questions?
It was when I was around the sun, I went around and around the sun, but I could stop there and I saw all these other, like, I don't know what they were, orbs, planets, whatever, going into the sun, continually going into the sun, just burning up. But I never felt any heat or anything else like that. I just was amazed at how many things were going into the sun at the time.
Wow, it looks like, because the sun is not, it's not a sun, it's a gold energy. And gold energy is very high vibration. And so when I have you call it back, it's your own energy, but it's also having you release. And it looks like you were letting go of stuff. And when you were releasing it, it gets neutralized. It becomes neutral, whatever. It's not, it loses its power. That's really huge, very cool.
Yeah, and I understand about the apathy thing, you know. What I do when I realize that that's where I'm at, I tell myself, well, I can do this. I can, I will, and I can. And even if it's just some small thing, then it starts the energy back up for the other things that I need to do.
Yeah, it's when you decide to make the change. I'm in apathy, I'm going to change. And then you pick a way to do that. Ask for spirit help or do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who else?
I couldn't listen because I was too into my imagination, but I felt like I was like Saturn, like I was a planet, and for like the ring it was like blue, yellow, and green pastels. Like, and I saw like my two dogs that passed away when I was living in Prosser. Like their names were Piper and Pickle. And
Piper and Pickle.
And like I also like for like a bubble, like somebody like blew me away while I was in a bubble, and I just went in like a planet, and I was like imagining, and like I felt like the sun was like my mom, and she was like watching down on me, and it made me like really, really happy.
Wow. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing. That was really, you did a lot of stuff. You were really busy. That's very cool. Anybody else? Okay. I think we're ready to pass the baton. Or the microphone.
Thank you.
I was plowing yours there.
Thank you.
Oh, that's yours. Right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks to Michelle. Let's give her a big hand. I'll talk to you about your pets here in a minute, okay? After church. So I did not talk to Michelle. I have no idea what she was going to talk about today. But on Friday, I had this insight of something I wanted to do differently with communion for us. So if you haven't got
Is this where I've got to be not myself?
chill.
Okay.
Sometimes it gets a little goofy. I don't want to be goofy. I want us to really get this. So what was shown to me was that Jesus was the ultimate empath. So he absorbs negative stuff, whether it's stuff we've done that we regret or stuff that's been done to us. He can absorb that. And not only does he absorb that stuff, but he also, like this light coming in, he can give us a transfusion of energy that will bless us. So as we're willing to release, then we can have this energy transfusion. So like Michelle was saying, maybe you don't even know what you want, but think about it for a second. What energy would you like to have? Maybe it's vitality. Maybe it's enthusiasm. Maybe it's joy. Maybe it's feeling empowered. Maybe it's feeling peaceful. What you want to receive or what you might feel is good for you to receive right now might be totally different than somebody else. So think about that, and if you have no idea, just suck it all up, right? Just read it all in. So if we're going to do the communion thing, when you open this up, imagine that you're opening up your heart. And you don't have to do the whole religious thing. This is just allowing the spiritual aspect of clarity into your world. Okay? And those of you who don't follow Jesus, you can join in with this and not attach it to that if you want, or skip the whole thing, I don't care. So it's up to you. So you ready? We're going to open, and when you open this, open your heart. And then with the little, as you opened your heart, could you feel all of that stuff release? Now as we receive this, you're going to receive that new energy, whatever it is that you requested. So join me in prayer. Loving Spirit of light, thank you for removing from us all of that distress, all of that difficulty, whether it was things we did and regret or things that we had done to us and we resist or regret or whatever. All those things that no longer serve us. Thank you for receiving those from us. And we ask that you bless us now with fresh new energy. Thank you. In the name of Jesus. Amen. Turning it over. As we open this, you're going to open your mind. Join us in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of light, bring us refreshing energy to clear our mind so that we can move beyond resistance and move into love and light. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, the Ascended One. Amen. And if you're not a follower of the way, thank you for giving us the time to do that. I would encourage you, even if you're not a follower of the way, take a communion cup home and try it on your own. See what it feels like to you. Try it. Test drive. Mr. Phil. Can I do a Bible verse real quick while you're setting up? I got a microphone. Psalms 51:10. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. So we get to have that. A gift. Way cool.
Your tape's getting ragged.
You mean my fried?
Yeah.
Okay.
This
Well,
was
I
after
can't-
the dog ate the last Bible.
Yeah. Well, I can't get it rebound because then they'll keep it for 3 weeks, and I can't do that for that long, so I'll just have to keep using tape.
Thank you.
Thank you. So one last thing I want to talk to you about, and then we'll be ready to go. We're starting, Michelle has set us up with doing discovery seminars once a month, and we're going to start here before long. And so like on October 11th, we're going to have a healing summit. So we'll have people who do healings come and talk about that, and maybe do healings after. And then November 8th, we're going to do near-death experiences. We'll have people who have experienced that come and share some stuff. And then December, we're going to do a reading and healing event. January, we're going to do manifesting. February, we'll do self-love. And other possible seminars are past life, karma clearing, overcoming conflict, angels and spirit guides, crystals for healing, animal communication, interdimensional shift. There's a theory that there's another dimension, other dimensions, and that you exist. I don't have it. You exist in that world. Phil,
he already
has
put it in.
Yeah. And you can communicate with that other you and heal, both of you. And then power of music for the soul. Other people would like to know about psychometry, quantum healing, and third eye clarity. So I'm going to run this around the room again if you get a chance to, if there's something else you would like to have us present, or something you'd like to teach. Is there anything you would like to share with our group? So sign up. We'll get that going. Let's do a quick energy circuit for the folks online, and we're almost back to normal time. Rub your hands together really, really fast. Get that energy built up, that clear, sweet, bright energy, bringing it into your heart space. From your heart space to your left hand to your right hand, back to your heart, and that creates an energetic circuit. And this energetic circuit brings additional energy, a higher vibration, strong, powerful energy to keep us going. We all could use that, could we not? So bring that into your heart space. Have a great week, and we will see you next time.